from now. Welcome to Indian Renal Nutrition webinar. I welcome you all on this Sunday morning, and your participation here itself makes us feel good, and it means that you are interested in knowing more about Indian renal nutrition. So welcome aboard. We will be starting in a short while from now. I can see participants joining in. Namaskar, this is Dr. Suniti Khandekar, and welcome to Indian Renal Nutrition. Now, those who are joining in through the direct link through SMS, I would like you to go to the website dietandkidney.com and register, because those who are registered for today's webinar are going to get a special gift from us at the end of the webinar. So those who have joined in from the direct link, or those who are watching this on YouTube live or Facebook live for that matter, kindly go to the website dietandkidney.com and register for this webinar. We'll be starting from a short while from now. I welcome all the attendees for showing interest on this Sunday morning for this webinar. Good morning, namaskar, welcome. I can see more and more interested nutritionists and dietitians joining in on the Sunday morning for the Indian Renal Nutrition webinar, the importance of renal nutrition in Indian diet and Indian dietetic practice. So those who are joining in, I would like you to rename yourselves, and I would like you to put in the chat box as where are you from, and are you a practicing nutritionist, are you a practicing dietitian? Let me welcome each and every one of you personally. So type in the chat box as to where are you from and your areas of interest. And of course, where are you from? Kindly rename yourselves. Welcome Dr. Charu Arora from Gurgaon. Are you practicing nutrition, Dr. Charu? Here we have some enthusiastic participants who are chatting with me right now. Yes, kindly rename yourselves and you can introduce yourself so that I can personally welcome you all to this session. Fareen Sheikh. Yes, I'm from Akola, Maharashtra. Yes, BSc, MSc in Food Science and Nutrition. Perfect. Good morning, Fareen. And I could see that you were the first one to join in. Well, that explains your enthusiasm to learn more. You're quite a lifelong learner, I would say. And joining in this webinar will definitely help you gain more knowledge about Indian renal nutrition. This is a knowledge that we have acquired over almost 21 years of practice in this field. Good morning, yes. Now I welcome you all to this special webinar on Indian renal nutrition. Good, I would like more participation from you all. A request to all of you who have been practicing renal nutrition or practicing nutrition that this is an upskill program. This is an upskill webinar. For those who are already practicing nutrition, practicing counseling, as far as patient's diet is concerned, as far as Indian patient's diet is concerned. Now, whether you're from India or from abroad, who are catering to the Indian diaspora, who are talking to Indian patients day in and day out. This is an upskill program for you all. So taking out time on a Sunday morning, I know Sunday is for relaxation and being busy with the routine course, but here we are. Now, I have working to kidney specialist hospital role of dietitian. Good, Farin. Yes, I love participants who are really participating in the chat box. But one request, when we would be starting the webinar, I would like you all to keep your questions ready, but type them in the chat box once the webinar is at its completion. I'll take the questions at the end. So let us start. I think we should be going on with the topic. Yes, team? Team? Yes. Good to go? Okay. So Indian renal nutrition. And today's topic is 6 concepts of Indian renal nutrition, the why. The importance of learning Indian renal nutrition. Yes, we have an additional post. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, dear Vedika. I'm Vedika Charjan from Nagpur, currently living in Bengaluru. I have done BSc and MSc in food science and nutrition. Wow. Renal nutrition has always been my favorite part. Lovely. So we would like to have your inputs. Definitely. Good. So let us begin with 6 concepts of Indian renal nutrition, the why. Namaskaram. Yes, that's what Indians do. So welcome to the webinar on Indian renal nutrition. Now, we all are aware that hunger is the first element of self-discipline. If you can control what you eat and drink, you can control everything else. And everything is food if you are truly hungry. Everything is poison if you're overfed. Right. So think Indian. This is the first part of the webinar, that think with an Indian mindset. Now, those who are watching me live on YouTube or on Facebook, I would like you to go and register on our website www.dietandkidney.com for this particular webinar, so that all the attendees are going to get a special gift from our admin at the end of the webinar. Good? So good to go. A lovely Sunday morning with lots to learn, lots to acquire. 6 reasons to study Indian renal nutrition. Okay, now I would just minimize this. Yes, this has been there on the web since quite long now. So what are the 6 reasons to study Indian renal nutrition? Let's go one by one. First thing is think Indian. Those who are attending this webinar, I want you to think like an Indian, because we all are Indians, our diets are Indians, and our patients whom we are catering to are also Indians. Now, what is the need for studying renal nutrition? What's out there? There are very few Indian books, less verifiable data available. Have you come across any Indian diet book on kidney diseases? Type in the chat box if you have and type the name of the book. We will all be um, uh, reading that. Okay? There is less research that has been done. The research is going on. Our reference books mainly are books by foreign authors, which have got Western diets and Western data. Now, in India, there are rising cases of obesity. Now, economic liberalization in India, it happened from 1966 to 1991, long time period, when there was an open market strategy that was followed. And in May, June, July 1996, there was a flood of opening of all the major fast food centers all across India. Now, in May 2007, so 1996 से लेके 2007 तक, there was a research done, and this is an article from JAPI, editorial by Honorable Dr. Shashank Joshi and Dr. Rakesh Parikh. The editorial says, India, diabetes capital of the world, now heading towards hypertension. So imagine obesity, diabetes, and hypertension. Now this study which I am quoting here is from 2007. So 2007 से लेके अभी 2024 तक, you can imagine the exponential rise in the cases of obesity, in the cases of diabetes and hypertension. Scary, right? So diabetes. Now, out of 1 out of 3 patients having diabetes have chronic kidney disease. If it comes to hypertension, 1 out of 5 patients having hypertension have chronic kidney disease. Again, scary. So the basic knowledge about chronic kidney disease is scanty, it is scattered, and it is scary. Chronic kidney disease in India is underreported. Why it is underreported? Because patients are not aware that these are the symptoms of a kidney problem. Okay, they all know about kidney stones because dukta hai. But chronic kidney disease में dukta nahi hai. The signs and symptoms appear when the kidneys have already started failing. So that's why it is underreported. The patients are not aware that they need to get the basic kidney function tests and the basic urine tests for them to understand whether they have any kidney problem or not, especially those who have got long-standing diabetes and hypertension. But they don't know what to do. And that is the reason why it is under-evaluated, because they don't have the reports with them. They don't know the signs and symptoms. They are not aware about it. It is underdiagnosed. Why is it underdiagnosed? Because again, if it is not evaluated, how the clinicians and the nephrologists are going to diagnose it if the patients are not coming to them with some reports or some signs and symptoms? That's why it is undertreated. And all this is because CKD in India is undereducated. Patients don't know that they have ये symptom है तो इसका मतलब किडनी पे असर है, so let me go and have my KFT or kidney functions test done. They don't know that. And that's why it is undereducated, and this is a scary situation. So what is missing? What is missing, my dear friends? Indian is missing. Indian diet's perspective is missing. Education about chronic kidney disease to the open population is missing. And that is the responsibility of not only the clinicians and the nephrologists, but also the nutritionists and dietitians who are day in and day out counseling patients of obesity, like clients of obesity to be perfect, patients of diabetes and patients of hypertension. You should be able to judge, detect, bang on, oh, he's coming up with these symptoms. Let me request him to go in for a KFT and then visit the nephrologist or the treating physician along with the reports. This mindset needs to be developed. Now type in the chat box if you wish to know about my journey as to who am I and why am I taking this webinar today and what I have done. I would love the participants to give me the permission to share my journey with you all. Permission to share my journey? YouTube says yes. Yes, Fareen says yes. Thank you, Fareen. Yes. Nida says yes. Good. We'll love to know. Okay. My name is Dr. Suniti Ashwini Kumar Khandekar. I'm an MBBS from a government medical college in India. I did my MBBS from 1996 to 2001. Okay. Cleared my exams in 2001 Jan or December say 2000, and then did 1 year of internship till 2002. During this time period, when we used to take our rounds in the medicine wards, especially, it was a tribal area. The hospital was a government hospital. And during that time, when we used to see patients who are sick, who are coming with chronic diseases, sickle cell anemia was very common in that area. And we used to see how they used to eat their foods. They used to cook foods on taking those stones and just making a small chula and eating. And they used to get the hospital food also. Now, the high protein diet in a government hospital food, my dear friends, it was just an addition of one egg, of course, because it's difficult to cater to so many things. So, diet part was just one additional egg. Now, at so many instances, I saw that the father who was the patient used to pass on that high protein stuff or even the meal to the toddler or the child who is playing next to him. So that was really heartening कि अगर ये खाना ही नहीं खाएंगे तो इतनी सारी दवाएं उनको जो चल रही है वो उन्हें कहाँ ले जाएगी, whether the medicines will work or not. So that was the thing in mind. Then after completing MBBS and working in various hospitals across Nagpur, Nashik, Mumbai, I decided to study nutrition at SNDT Mumbai, Juhu campus, the Postgraduate Studies and Research Center. And after that, renal was always of interest. Worked at esteemed hospitals in their dialysis units with research team. Counseled so many patients, and then came up with these 3 books on kidney nutrition. Indian Diets and Kidney Diseases in 2019 से, then किडनी का स्वास्थ्य हिंदुस्तानी स्वाद के साथ with additional chapters about kidney diseases by our nephrologist in 2021, and किडनीचे आजार आणि भारतीय आहार in Marathi in 2022. These books have been read by so many of my patients, so many of the dietitians around, and the patients were happy. Now, who all of you who are attending the webinar today have come across these books on Amazon, Flipkart, or Notion Press? Can you type in the chat box? Now, with the experience of these books, it took me 9 years to compile the first English book, because it's a compilation of experience. It is not a compilation of just the knowledge. Oh, what does Fareen say? आपकी ये बुक हमने पूरी पढ़ी है, काफी helpful और knowledgeable है. Thanks, Fareen. I am really glad that some of you are interested in this tough topic and interested in helping out the patient. Now, with this concept of Indian diets, our team, the nephrologists and the nutritionists on the panel, came up with the idea of Diet and Kidney Academy, where we learn, we help, and we achieve. So let me discuss what is Diet and Kidney Academy and the importance of renal nutrition for Indian patients. Now, Diet in Kidney Academy, I would proudly say that it is a complete solution to the quest for Indian renal nutrition. Why so? You will get to know by the end of this webinar. Now, in Diet in Kidney Academy, the motto logo is learn, help, and achieve. Simple. Because I believe that a simplistic approach is important. Learning to help the patient's life, learning to impact the patient's life, and then when the patients are satisfied and with gratitude, they give you blessings and, of course, help you earn some money, then it impacts your life. So the gratitude here is important. Monetary part is always secondary, as I believe. It helps us because it helps our patients. And a happy patient is always a better face to look at, Achievement. It is an achievement for the patients. It is an achievement for you all. So renal nutrition. Let us dive deep into the knowledge about renal nutrition. Renal nutrition, I would say, is calculative, challenging, and conceptually changing. Calculative. Why calculative? Because all the macros and micronutrients need to be calculated. It is challenging because it keeps on changing. The blood parameters of the patients keep on changing. The comorbidities that the patient have, the parameters keep on changing with the help of the different changes in the comorbidities of the patient. It is conceptually changing because renal nutrition concepts जो 10 साल पहले थे कि प्रोटीन इतना देना चाहिए या इतना नहीं देना चाहिए या फैट्स कैसे मैनेज करने चाहिए, because it is a hypercatabolic state wherein there is dyslipidemia also. So fat कैसे मैनेज करे, कैलोरीज कैसे मैनेज करे, प्रोटीन इतना दे या ना दे, it is conceptually changing day by day. Nutrition science. Now, renal nutrition. It is challenging for the clinicians. It is challenging for us as counselors, and it is challenging for the caretakers, because caretakers have to make sure that what the counselors tell them, कैसे खाना बनाना है ये patients के लिए, the caretakers have to convert that knowledge into the actual food plate of the patient. And it is a tough thing for the clinicians. Why? Because clinicians have to be in constant touch with the counselors and the caretakers. So double responsibility hai. Now, renal nutrition. It is challenging as far as the cooking methods are concerned, the culinary skills of the caretakers are concerned, and the cost effectiveness of the whole diet. So it is the responsibility of the nutritionists and dietitians. We have to give them such kind of food which fits into their budget. Come on, if the patient is the sole bread earner of the family and he is already into chronic kidney disease stage 3 or 4 where he is taking medications, he has to manage his future progression of the disease, he has to manage his treatment, he has to manage the family, everything and everything. And if the diet part of it is also too much a burden on his day-to-day economy, then he may fall short of properly following the dietary advice given to him or her by us, the nutritionists and the dietitians. So the cost effectiveness is important, and here is where the culinary skills of the nutritionists and dietitians along with the caretaker is important, because we should know how to modify his current diet in such a way that it is not a burden on his economy, and at the same time cater to his protein, carbs, fats, minerals, every need. बस थोड़ा सा ऐड करना है और थोड़ा सा मॉडिफाई करना है, एंड द पेशेंट्स आर एबल टू सस्टेन दैट काइंड ऑफ डाइट which helps them halt the progress of chronic kidney disease stages, which helps them to lead a better quality of life. And that is our main aim. Patients should be able to lead a quality life. Now, what nephrologists expect? Let us listen to sir.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Diet and Kidney Academy. You are going through the course called Renal Nutrition Basics, and it tells you about the basics that a renal nutritionist needs to know. So what better way to start than to know what a nephrologist is expecting from a renal nutritionist? So I am Dr. Ashwini Kumar Khandekar. I am a nephrologist, a practicing nephrologist since last 15 years, and that's not counting the 4 or 5 years of training I had in nephrology. So fair to say that I have seen it all. I have seen various situations in nephrology, various levels of complexity in patients, various levels of complexity required for the nutrition that they would be needing, and therefore expecting something different when it comes to counseling these patients. So whenever there is a renal patient, it is not only about just telling him what cannot be eaten, but it is about how much can we adjust his existing diet into the condition that he is going through. So let us see what a nephrologist expects from a nutritionist who is practicing renal nutrition. So what does a nephrologist, after all, expect from a renal nutritionist? Now, I'm just going to give you a series of words where that would summarize what we are expecting from uh, an expert in diet who is counseling kidney patients. So what do I expect from my 15 or 20 years of experience in practicing nephrology? So I expect my nutritionist or nutrition advisor to talk to the patient, understand what the situation they are going through, see what they have in terms of reports and other conditions, especially reports, not only just electrolyte reports, but other reports that the patients are going through. Calculate what is required for the patient, calculate what he or she is already taking, and give them a calculated diet later on. Formulate a diet based on all this, what we have talked, what we have seen through the reports, and what we have calculated. Create a diet that takes care of all these three things, and then include whatever the patient has been taking as a habit, and not just condemn it because it does not fit into his renal condition, but see whether it can be included so that he is more compliant, and counsel counsel why things are important, what things are important, then have a good follow-up. So repeating that is important, and modifying it because the stage of the disease is going to change. Hello everyone.
So that was Sir discussing about the importance and what the nephrologists expect from a renal nutritionist. Now let us revise the C's of renal nutrition. Clinicians, counselors, caregivers, important for them, tough for them, challenging for them, calculative, challenging, and conceptually changing kind of nutrition science, where cooking methods, culinary skills, cost effectiveness, the comforts of the patient need to be taken care of. And most important, the central word, compliance of the patient is important. और ये सारी जिम्मेदारी है न्यूट्रिशनिस्ट की. Yes? So we are the one who should know that diet advice is an essential aspect of CKD management. Okay, it is the medicines, the diet, and the exercise that are the key to quality of life in chronic kidney disease patients' diet. So the daily diet recommendation should be in the form of an education. Okay, the patient should have an assessment. The patient should be given a goal. So there should be goal setting from our side. There should be a continuous monitoring of the patient's diet, and there should be a follow-up either after 1 month or after 3 months. But it should not be like एक बार diet chart ले लिया, so then after 6 months or a year the diet should change. No. So that should be the impact of the dietary education imparted by us to the patient. as far as chronic kidney disease diet goes. Now, we are the bridging gap between the clinicians and the patients. Always remember, nutritionists and dietitians, our role is very important because the clinicians look up to us for a good nutrition counseling to the patient, and the patients rely on us. So we have an important role to play. Now, let us jump into the topic of 6 concepts of Indian renal nutrition, the why. So the concepts will be divided into renal nutrition first, water and salt, protein, potassium, phosphorus, carbs, calories, and fat. Take lots of notes because these are the basic concepts of renal nutrition per se. And we are going to discuss about this in detail. So why renal nutrition is important? As we already have discussed, it is calculative, challenging, and conceptually changing of nutrition science, and we should be abridged and we should be updated with the knowledge about the recent renal nutrition guidelines, and the recent guidelines need to be modified according to the requirements of our Indian patients, because the guidelines are non-Indian guidelines per se. So in kidney disease, what happens is reduced kidney functions in chronic kidney disease, it leads to malnutrition. अब malnutrition है, so again there is reduced kidney functions. It's a vicious cycle. Now, when there are reduced kidney functions, there is uremia because there is accumulation of urea. There is loss of taste. Patients do not eat properly. They feel aversion towards certain kind of food items, and especially protein, because protein जब पास में आता है तब the nitrogenous part of protein, it gives them a particular kind of smell. We may call it aroma, but they smell it, and that's why the food intake is reduced. It again leads to malnutrition, and this is a vicious cycle. We want to remove the patient from the vicious cycle of malnutrition, but the patient himself, when he is not counseled properly and he is already going through uremia, taste changes and aversions and weakness, he does not feel like eating. So the malnutrition continues and the patient goes into a complete protein energy wasting. And if patient goes into an early protein energy wasting, my dear friends, what happens is the stage of chronic kidney disease may progress directly from stage 2 to stage 5, and directly the patient may be in requirement of dialysis, or if at all I would say he would be in requirement of say intensive care treatment for that matter. I have seen your hand raised. You can type your question in the chat box. And if you can wait till my presentation is over, I would be happy to take questions at the end. Thank you. Now, why renal nutrition is important? Because there is increase in chronic diseases. We have already discussed diabetes बढ़ रहा है, hypertension बढ़ रहा है, obesity बढ़ रहा है, और सिर्फ COVID-19 नहीं, pandemics and epidemics of obesity, diabetes and hypertension are increasing. I have mentioned about the article in May 2007 in JAPI. Now May 2007 से लेके अभी अगर December 2023 तक भी देखें तो भी डायबिटीज का आंकड़ा बढ़ चुका है, हाइपरटेंशन का आंकड़ा बढ़ चुका है, ओबेसिटी तो रैम्पेंट हो गया है. Even childhood obesity is so common that we are seeing kids with diabetes and hypertension as at an early stage as 12 or 15. Scary, right? Now, there is increase in stress because of age. आजकल तो नर्सरी में एडमिशन मिलने के लिए भी स्ट्रेस आता है, बच्चों को और पेरेंट्स को भी. इमेजिन द काइंड ऑफ स्ट्रेसफुल लाइफ दैट वी आर लिविंग. ऑक्यूपेशनल स्ट्रेस है, अर्बन लाइफस्टाइल का स्ट्रेस है, बिकॉज देर इज टू एंड फ्रो मूवमेंट, यू हैव टू ट्रैवल, यू हैव टू मैनेज सो मेनी थिंग्स. रूरल लाइफस्टाइल का स्ट्रेस अलग है. बिजली नहीं है, पानी नहीं है, रोड नहीं है, बारिश नहीं है, और बारिश हुई तो गलत टाइम पे हुई. कम ऑन, देयर आर सो मेनी स्ट्रेसेस गोइंग ऑन. ऑफ कोर्स इंडिया इज इम्प्रूविंग as far as these rural lifestyles are concerned. Activity pattern is also stressful nowadays. We are sitting more, we are working with a sedentary lifestyle more. Now Indian dietary variations, regional variations, seasonal variations, festivities, ingredients, affordability, सब कुछ बदलता है. You go from Nagpur to Konkan, from Konkan you go to Kerala, then from Kerala you go to Rajasthan, everything changes. The region changes, the seasons change, the festivals change, the ingredients that are put in a simple chapati, may it birre ki roti or jaw ki roti or sattu ki roti or chawal ki roti, it changes. Come on. The affordability of the patients change from regional parts. The availability of food, the cooking methods, everything changes. Quality and quantity of food, it changes. And this change has to be made in the diets of our chronic kidney disease patients. It cannot be a blanket dal chawal roti sabzi, ya dal mat khao, ye mat khao, wo mat khao. We have to take this into consideration, and that is why learning Indian renal nutrition is important. Now, water quality and quantity. The problem of chronic kidney disease of unknown origin is increasing because of the problem in the water that the patient is drinking. Use of chemicals and preservatives, rampant use of chemicals and preservatives just to make that gobi or bhindi look beautiful and enlarge in size. Where are these chemicals going? They are going directly into our systems. Recently, I came across certain photographs on the internet that there are microplastics which are seen in the blood of humans now. Leave apart the marine life. They are already suffering from that. Then habits, alcohol, tobacco, all these habits change the whole dietary perspective. Please rename yourselves. I would love to see you all rename yourselves. Okay? Now, the mindset of the patients when they become aware of kidney disease. Okay? मेरी दोनों किडनी खराब हो गई है, अब मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकता या कर सकती. So the beliefs about the kidney disease and the prevalent myths about kidney diseases, ये कौन कम करेगा? It is the role of the nutritionists and dietitians along with the clinicians and the physicians and the nephrologists, because we have the knowledge and we should impart it to the patients, to the general population. In say, I would say, why would only the patients be benefited? जनरल पॉपुलेशन को ये मालूम होना चाहिए कि ये किडनी प्रॉब्लम के सिम्टम्स एंड साइंस है, एंड दैट इज द मेन एम ऑफ दिस वेबिनार टुडे. The purpose of nutrition care in chronic kidney disease is to maintain nutritional status. How do we do that? By balancing the diet with advised restrictions. Not too much, not too less. Now, when it comes to potassium calculations, 2 दिन का नींबू अगर निचोड़ के पेशेंट खा लेता है तो potassium goes up. Okay? And the patient is just leaching and boiling his vegetables without eating any other sources of potassium, the patient's potassium comes so low that it goes lesser than the range. How do we manage that? Our responsibility. Along with it, we need to maintain taste of food. Okay? Then we need to slow the progression of renal failure and possibly delay the need for maintenance dialysis. That is our main aim. So diet, medicines and exercise. Medicines, role of the nephrologist. Diet, nutritionist role. And exercise, we can request them to go and see certified fitness trainers. The purpose of nutrition care in CKD is to prevent or minimize the uremic symptoms that the patient may be having because of accumulation of that nitrogenous waste products in the blood. So the right quality of protein needs to be given and the right amount of protein needs to be given. It is not like protein band karo, ya sirf non-vegetarian protein do, ya sirf vegetarian protein do, and of course the liquid or the powdered proteins which are available rampantly in the market. Be careful. The consequences are scary. Okay? to control hypertension by minimizing fluid and electrolyte disturbances of the patient. Sodium hai, potassium hai, water hai, calcium hai, magnesium hai, vitamin D hai. So many things need to be taken into account while charting or planning a diet for our chronic kidney disease patients. Why salt and water are important? Another point why it is important. Yes. Now, when there is increased salt intake, there is increased thirst and there is increased water intake. ये जितना दिखता है उतना simple नहीं है, but I'll try to simplify it like when the blood sodium or salt level is high in case of chronic kidney disease patients, because they are not able to excrete the extra salt from their urine. The salt is accumulated in the blood. It keeps on circulating. Now this salt, it goes to the brain. Knock, knock, high sodium. So now the brain signals to the thirst center. Then what do we feel? We feel thirsty. We tend to drink water. And then we tend to drink water till our thirst is quenched. And it is balanced. So जितना ज्यादा नमक खाएंगे उतनी ज्यादा प्यास लगेगी, उतना ज्यादा पानी पिएंगे. Till now it is okay. But in case of chronic kidney disease, ये सब जो ज्यादा है, it is accumulated in the body. Come on. The heart is already pumping so much of blood. Okay. Now this additional. Okay. I would request you all to type your name here. We will rename you on we'll rename on your behalf. Kindly rename yourselves, those who have joined in late in this webinar. We would love to know who has attended, because there is a special gift which is coming on your emails. So kindly rename yourselves. Yes, good, Safa. Thank you. Please, Tarupayal. Yes, good. I love the participation and thank you for the request. Yes, Sheikh Nida 440. Okay, yes, good, Nida. Yes, so where were we? Yes, vicious salt, thirst, and water cycle, and how it increases the edema of our patients. Now, when there is water retention, there is weight gain, there is swelling in feet and ankles, there is breathlessness, there is rise in blood pressure, there is pain and fullness in abdomen. The patient is very uncomfortable. ये जो अनकंफर्टेबल फीलिंग है, इसको अगर कम करना है, whose responsibility it is? It is the responsibility of the nutritionists and dietitians to make sure that the patient is eating the prescribed amount of salt and drinking the prescribed amount of water. Yes, Sanjana, thank you. Why proteins are important? Okay, now proteins are important to prevent malnutrition in our patients. क्रॉनिक किडनी डिसीज का डाइट जो है वो प्रोटीन डोमिनेंट भी अगर है तो भी दैट प्रोटीन शुड नॉट बी कैलकुलेटेड इन द कैलोरी पार्ट. Complex, right? But we will simplify it for you. Come on. So Indian diet is basically predominantly plant-based. Even the Indians who prefer non-veg, they do not eat non-veg only. Okay. So Indian non-vegetarian food में भी रोटी आता है, सब्जी आता है. They eat some non-veg part, eggs, chicken, fish. Okay. Then they eat salads and all. We do not sit with a whole turkey. Yes, Miss Kiran. Thank you. We do not sit with a whole turkey or a whole boiled chicken and just finish it in the whole day without eating any other carbs. So Indian diets are preferably plant-based diet. Now, we need to be careful about the proteins because diet has to be reduced when it comes to uremia. So the protein has to be managed. And because of uremia and taste changes, the patient already is. Yes, thank you, dietitian Prachi Chitre. Yeah, the uremia and taste changes की वजह से patient already कम खा रहा है. फिर beliefs है, myths है. All these beliefs and myths make them eat less proteins in the diet. And if protein intake does not meet the immediate requirements in case of illnesses in chronic kidney disease, then the body repairing stops, because it does not have protein. And to maintain the blood levels of protein, body protein कहाँ से लाएगा? मसल्स में से लाएगा. तो मसल्स ऑलरेडी जो प्रोटीन्स में रिच है पहले, वो धीरे धीरे खोखले होते जाएंगे. The muscles will start losing their protein and the patients start becoming weak. We do not want that to happen because these are the signs of chronic malnutrition. Now, the consequences of protein deficiency are, you may call them as general consequences, but I would say that when the patients stop eating protein or stop eating adequate amount of proteins in Indian diets, all these things happen. There is growth retardation in kids. Why I'm talking about kids? Because there is seen as CKD or nephrotic syndrome in children. And if those kids are not given adequate calculated protein, there is growth retardation. What's the use of treating the disease if the kid is not growing properly just because he is not eating well? Come on. Then there is weight loss of muscle mass in adults. There is hemoglobin formation which is hampered. Already there is less of erythropoietin in case of chronic kidney disease. Now erythropoietin is a hormone which stimulates the bones to form hemoglobin. इरिथ्रोपोइटिन कम है क्योंकि क्रॉनिक किडनी डिसीज है, इसलिए हीमोग्लोबिन कम है, इसलिए एनीमिया है, इसलिए ब्रेथलेसनेस है, इसलिए वीकनेस भी है. सो अगेन अ विशियस साइकिल. नाउ एल्ब्यूमिन डेफिशिएंसी से भी एडिमा होता है. आगे जाके शॉक में जा सकता है पेशेंट, आईसीयू के लिए जा सकता है. और ऑलरेडी इफ ही इज ईटिंग लेस ऑफ प्रोटीन, वेयर विल द एल्ब्यूमिन कम फ्रॉम? कहाँ से? लिवर से और मसल्स से कितना आएगा बैलेंस करने के लिए ब्लड में? There is fibrinogen deficiency, again a proteinaceous thing, which may lead to bleeding disorders. And I have seen cases where the patient is of chronic kidney disease with some liver problems, with chronic liver disease, and then they may have bleeding tendencies. Then there is delayed wound healing. You know, this happens in case of diabetes. But even in our cases, in chronic kidney disease, where there is less of protein intake in the diet, there is delayed wound healing. Then there is reduced immunity due to reduced antibody formation. There is severe protein deficiency due to hormonal imbalances. ये सब होता है जब प्रोटीन खाने में कम होता है. We are only talking about the dietary aspects of nutrition here. Next point, why potassium is of concern in the diets of chronic kidney disease patients. Now we all know that potassium is present in every living cell. It is a major intracellular cation. It has a vital role in neuromuscular functions. It has a role in contraction and regularity of our heart rhythm. Most important element है या mineral है. It balances acid base. It helps in carbohydrate metabolism. This is detailed of biochemistry. Then it helps in protein synthesis, enzyme action. So you would know that how important is this potassium. But its levels need to be maintained. Otherwise, अगर level ज़्यादा है तो ये सब problem में आते हैं, especially the heart. और level अगर कम जाते हैं because of chronic kidney disease, again the first problem is on the heart. So we need to be careful. So in chronic kidney disease, what happens is, whether there is hyperkalemia or hypokalemia, if the range of blood potassium levels is higher, say above 5.5 and more, or if the range of blood potassium is lesser than the range, that is less than 3, there is either abnormal cardiac rhythm or there is severe muscle weakness. Such is the potassium management important in the diets of chronic kidney disease that our patients should not land into ICU just because of not eating either adequate potassium or inadequate potassium, right? Now potassium is present in proteins, again a problem. So अगर प्रोटीन अच्छा देना है तो पोटेशियम भी मैनेज करना है, लेकिन प्रोटीन में का पोटेशियम मैनेज कैसे करेंगे, निकालेंगे कैसे अगर प्रोटीन भी देना है तो? टफ जॉब. It's our job, right? Then proteins are required for nutrition that we all are aware of. और पोटेशियम और प्रोटीन का बैलेंस बहुत अचीव करना पड़ता है in diets of chronic kidney disease patients. Another important point, why phosphorus is of a concern. This is a conceptual type of webinar, wherein all these important aspects are touched. Now again, phosphorus और calcium का गहरा रिश्ता है because their metabolisms are interrelated. They are useful in the development of bones, their strength and sustainability. Now every food that we eat has got phosphorus in it. कुछ कम मात्रा में, कुछ ज्यादा मात्रा में. नॉनवेज में ज्यादा होता है, वेजिटेरियन सोर्सेस में थोड़ा कम है. या अवेलेबल फॉस्फेट इन नॉनवेज इज मोर देन द अवेलेबल फॉस्फेट इन द प्लांट डाइट. Okay, then there is increase in phosphorus in blood, which leads to increase in parathyroid hormone. Vitamin D formation is again suppressed in these cases. Calcium is extracted from the bones in case of chronic kidney disease to maintain the blood calcium levels. जैसे प्रोटीन निकलता है to maintain the blood protein levels, वैसे calcium is extracted from its lovely source, that is bones. What does that do? That makes our bones weak. Later it may lead to osteomalacia. The patients have got, I've seen so many patients who have not been taking good calcium in their diets. So थोड़े से धक्का लगने से या थोड़ा सा गिरने से they tend to break their bones. They have hairline fractures all the time, even if they are like just being against the wall or the doors or the tables. There is itching and irritation. They have got painful joints and easily occurring fractures. So phosphorus is important and calcium is important. In our patients, why calories, carbohydrates and fats are of importance? Most important. Okay. Now calories need to be maintained in case of chronic kidney disease patients because for adequate energy in the increasing catabolic stages of chronic kidney disease, calories are important. And we should know that when we plan a diet for our patients of chronic kidney disease, the calories should come from carbohydrates and fats. प्रोटीन का कैलोरीज अगर आता है उसमें तो भी प्रोटीन का कैलोरीज हम लोग नहीं गिनने की कोशिश करते. हाउ इज दैट पॉसिबल? It is possible. We have to maintain calories through complex carbohydrates and fats and let the protein do its body repairing part and not to be maintained as calorie source. Calories are maintained to prevent malnutrition in case of loss of taste and uremia scenarios. Calories need to be maintained to prevent the body protein structures from being utilized as energy resources, therefore worsening the case. So we need to maintain calories. Now carbohydrates are needed to be balanced, and these balance is to provide adequate calories to prevent protein energy malnutrition, to maintain the complex carbohydrates in case of diabetic patients with chronic kidney disease, and to maintain the dietary potassium intake by allowing low and medium potassium foods. How do we do that? Yes, think Indian. Now, how many of you have realized that there is a lot to learn and implement in renal nutrition? I would like you all to type in the chat box. Taru has raised hand. Taru, please write in the chat box. That would be good because I would be reading your query. Here the admin has not enabled the video. So write in the chat box. So how many of you realize that there is a lot to learn and implement in renal nutrition? Today we have just discussed why renal nutrition is important. 6 concepts of renal nutrition. The basics of renal nutrition, why water is important, salt is important, proteins are important, then potassium is important, phosphorus is important, calorie management is important. Why it is important? Yes, stages keep changes over the time and we need to change the diet as well according to that. Yes, Taru, very right. And that is the reason why we need to learn. There's a lot to learn and implement in renal nutrition. Now, how many of you realize that you would save a lot of time, money, energy by learning from joining my community of kidney nutrition masterminds? Would you like to know more? Those who are serious in their approach towards patient treatment and counseling, I would love you to listen to this part of the webinar with full attention and enthusiasm. And I know that those who are really interested would be staying till the end and would like to learn and know more about this. Because this is a combination of experience of more than 65 years. Come on, my 21 years and my team's experience calculated together. It is 65 plus years of practicing at various places, gaining knowledge, and combining it and putting it in front of you. So, how many of you are serious about listening to what I have to offer to you as learning resources and what they are going to get as a value from my community, that is Kidney Nutrition Masterminds? I have been running this program since a year now and proud to say that we have done 1400 live minutes of discussion. Yes, what does Vedika have to say? Renal nutrition is the most interesting area. It's tough to learn, but satisfying to apply with patients when we see those happy faces of the patients after they get cured. Yes. Yes. And the quality of life that you impart, it's not about just the patient as such, the whole family's life changes just because we tend to change slight in the type of vegetable that we are prescribing them. Why am I using the word prescription? Because it is really a diet prescription. It is not just a diet chart with ticks and crosses. No. Renal nutrition has to be religiously followed as a prescription. And we should give it as a prescription. Good. So, do I have the permission from the audience today who are listening live in this webinar on YouTube, here in the webinar and Facebook, to tell what I have planned for you in my paid community? Yes, I've seen many yeses in YouTube's. So type yes in the chat box, or as my community would say, type bring it on in the chat box. And I would go ahead. Because one thing, decisions change your destiny. That is what I believe. Come on, 9 years I took just to write Indian diets and kidney diseases. It took me 9 years to write this. What? 181 pages of book. That was the consistent effort of me and my team. And I would like to share this experience to you so that you can impart this knowledge to your patients. It is easy to just open up a diet portal and say diet counseling for kidney patients. But how many patients would one nutritionist or two nutritionists impact? But if this knowledge is passed on or taught to at least 100 nutritionists of a particular area, imagine if those 100 nutritionists are able to impact 100 patients from each area. Imagine the amount of Indian patients who would be benefited from the knowledge that we have acquired through experience over all these years. Yes? So, with this aspect in mind, we have Suniti's Diet and Kidney Academy. This is my team who have forced me to write my name on top, but it's a team effort. It's a complete solution to the quest for Indian renal nutrition, that I would proudly say. And we have lots to learn, and we keep on learning. We keep on adding knowledge because the renal nutrition guidelines keep on changing. And as soon as new guidelines come, we tend to practice it on our patient's diet and then our patient-related Indian diet guidelines come up. So, from the authors of all these 3 books, Indian Diets and Kidney Diseases, Kidney का स्वास्थ्य हिंदुस्तानी स्वाद के साथ, and Kidney से आजार आणि भारतीय आहार, we present to you Renal Nutrition Basics 2.0. Now, why do I call it 2.0? I call it 2.0 because version 1 is already running. I have so many of my community members, or I would say our colleagues, I won't call them students, but I have so many of my community members in my Renal Nutrition Basics version 1, and they are getting the benefits of the knowledge of this knowledge portal that we are going to discuss. Now, nephrologists and renal nutritionists on panel. Okay, we are continuously working on various aspects. We have access to the recent journals of nutrition as well as nephrology. So it's a combined effort. As I discussed, it is a 65 plus years of combined experience in patient care. Yes. And counseling, working in various cities across India. A structured knowledge portal on renal nutrition, a challenging, calculative, and constantly changing medical renal nutrition science. Now, the salient features of this course are: it is a simple format, easy to understand, point shooter style, Indian dietetic point of view. Come on, video and audio lectures, PDF files. In 2 languages, English and Hindi. Not every aspect can be covered in 2 languages, but we have tried our level best to maximize our efforts in making the Indian diet and the Indian nutritionists understand in simple Indian language, Hindi. Lifetime access to the portal. It is not that 3 mahine baad ya 6 mahine baad the access will be removed. Of course, the rights to remove the access from the students who may be miscreants in certain aspects, that right has been deserved by Diet and Kidney Academy. If they are not following the ethics of the community, and if they are not following the ethics of patient care, that we remove. Then there is browser access and Diet and Kidney Academy app for Android users, and there is certification of completion. Now, you gain knowledge, confidence, counseling skills. Now, I would love you to imagine, जैसे मैं आज बैठ के वेबिनार ले रही हूँ, all across India and abroad, people have joined in this webinar or are watching me on YouTube and Facebook. If you are able to counsel your patients so directly, would not that give you confidence? So you will get this confidence by joining our course. There is upskill and leverage in your CV. Increased chances of employability, I would say, because increasing cases of obesity, diabetes, and hypertension lead to increase in cases of chronic kidney disease, and nephrologists are in need of qualified renal nutritionists per se. And in the current books that we are using, there is very less knowledge about renal nutrition. Any book you say. Scientific and traditional cooking skills are discussed. Mindset to modification in the diets in our own Indian ways. There is decreased reliability on Western data and Western books for Indian patient care. We will have our own books, our own data, and our own files full of recipes which are discussed. This is not a cooking class. This is a discussion to modify. It's like scientific approach. And we learn, help, and achieve for ourselves, our family, and our patients. Now, video courses consist of 600 plus minutes of recorded content, audio lectures and PDF notes in English and Hindi. Then there is weekly live group coaching for brainstorming as to how to go about. There is one-to-one consultation at the end of the course. There is community, which is Kidney Nutrition Mastermind community. There is a challenge, Renathon for patient education, wherein we discuss concepts, secrets, and strategies of patient education. Now, our Renathon 1.0, we already have discussed, like I'm proud to say, 1400 live minutes of discussion. And Renathon 2.0 has kick-started in last month. There is lifetime access. This is a self-learning program, self-paced learning program. आप अपने हिसाब से भी स्टडी कर सकते हो धीरे धीरे, आपके पास लाइफ टाइम एक्सेस है. बट वी वुड लाइक यू टू बी equipped with this knowledge in just 3 days and then 3 months. So Suniti's Diet and Kidney Academy, learn, help and achieve. It's a complete solution for the quest for Indian renal nutrition. Renal Nutrition Basics 2.0. We have Renal Nutrition Model, a 3-day course in which in just 3 days you are able to equip yourself with the basics of renal nutrition and you can start practicing it in your OPD. Kidney Anatomy and Physiology, Journey of the Food We Eat, Guide to Blood Values in CKD, Medical Renal Nutrition Therapy, Diet Planning Strategies, and Organ Donation Awareness. These are the basic modules in Renal Nutrition Basics. Now, what is different? Now, Renal Nutrition Model, it's a 3-day course. It's a 3-day journey wherein I have already given you a glimpse of what nephrologists expect from a renal nutritionist. Sir has discussed this point in details in that particular video. Then we have concepts of renal nutrition, renal conditions seen in routine OPD practice, wherein again our nephrologist has given his inputs. And about the common questions that patients ask about kidney diet, all those answers in day 2. In day 3, about the macro and micronutrients in renal nutrition. If you join today, I have a special offer for you. Now, second module is all about kidneys, wherein we have Kidney Anatomy and Physiology by our nephrologist. And if you join today, we have a special offer. Journey of the Food We Eat, simple physiology of eating. Beautiful, picturesque videos, wherein detailed physiology of the journey of the food we are discussing, from mouth to complete digestion. Then there is digestion and absorption of food, and it's nuggets of food physiology in point shooter crisp style. It's lovely. I love that module. Why? Because it is so picturesque and it gives point shooter style and it gives you a quick fast revision. इतना बड़ा फिजियोलॉजी का बुक पढ़ने से अच्छा है एक वीडियो देख लो. Join today, you have a special offer. Guide to Blood Values in CKD. Now, when our nephrologist is explaining about the details of blood reports, how to interpret them as a nutritionist, won't it be the best kind of guidance that you would get? And yes, sir has done a wonderful job in explaining the blood reports to us in a very step-by-step approach, making us easy to understand as to how do we now go about in planning the diet for our patients. Join today, you have a special offer for today. Medical renal nutrition therapy, important aspect, acute kidney injury, chronic kidney disease, ESRD, CKD in children, kidney transplant in specifics, nephrotic syndrome in adults, nephrotic syndrome in children, kidney stones, all these topics are covered. You join today, you have a special offer for today. Then there are diet planning strategies. जब medical renal nutrition therapy हो जाता है, then we plan the diet because now we need to use that knowledge in making the food plate for our patients. So how to count, how to balance, how to manage. Pre-dialysis CKD, patients on hemodialysis, patients on peritoneal dialysis, kidney stones, nephrotic syndrome. This includes nephrotic syndrome in kids also, kidney transplant. All these topics are covered in the diet planning strategy. Now, since you all are nutritionists or dietitians and those who are practicing nutrition and dietitian as counseling, the basics of nutrition you would know. The basics of calculation of carb, protein, fat, sodium, potassium, calcium, phosphorus, you would know. You would know that how it comes from the Indian foods, Indian vegetables, Indian fruits. We give you an idea as to how to modify it for kidney patients. कहाँ क्या balance करना है. That's diet planning strategy. If you join today, you have a special offer. PDF guides, we have got 10 PDF guides in English and Hindi, wherein we discuss kidney diseases, chronic kidney disease, hemodialysis, peritoneal dialysis. Okay? Join today, you have a special offer. And organ donation awareness. Most important. Why? Because we need to understand what it is to give life to someone posthumous and how the cadaver kidney transplant should be encouraged in our patients. Then we have live sessions. Okay? Live sessions, 12 cyclical live sessions of more than 100 minutes of each live session. The course fees 51,001. Whooping, right? Let us bring it down. So, quick fast revision: renal nutrition model, kidney anatomy and physiology, journey of the food we eat, guide to blood values in CKD, medical renal nutrition therapy, diet planning strategy in specific renal conditions, and organ donation awareness. You want to know more? Type in the chat box. Let me have a sip of water. You want to know more? I love your enthusiasm. You're here. Now, what does 2.0 have? Renal Nutrition Basics 2.0. We have restructured the whole program which is there in Renal Nutrition Basics version 1. Now we have divided this topic of Renal Nutrition Basics 2.0 in 3 parts. As you can see, mains, live sessions, and a companion. Okay. Now, let us discuss them one by one. Now, modules included in Renal Nutrition Basics 2.0 mains. Renal Nutrition Model, the 3-day course, the 3-day journey that we have discussed. Guide to blood values in CKD by our nephrologist. Medical renal nutrition therapy, where we discuss in details about acute kidney injury, CKD, ESRD, nephrotic syndrome in children, kidney stones, kidney transplant. Then we have diet planning strategy in renal conditions. The conditions which are discussed in medical renal nutrition therapy are discussed as to what kind of diet needs to be planned in those renal conditions in very point shooter style. And organ donation awareness. Now, this main module has got 8 sections in it. It has got 77 chapters. Majority of them are videos. Some of them are audio. The rest of them are PDF. But the PDF is always supportive to the videos that are already there. In 2 languages, English and Hindi. Okay. In 2 languages, English and Hindi. And many of my students from version 1, that is Renal Nutrition Basics version 1, say that the videos are such that अगर English सुना मैंने वीडियो और हिंदी भी सुना तो ऐसे लगता है कि इंग्लिश में 2 पॉइंट्स अलग और ज्यादा थे, हिंदी में 2-3 पॉइंट्स एडिशनल अलग मिले. Because the videos may not be scripted, they would be extempore. And sometimes you tend to remember. So that is the reason why I urge you to listen to the English as well as the Hindi videos. We all are well versed with these 2 languages, the Indian language and the education language. there is a certificate of completion once you complete all the 8 sections and the 77 chapters in them. There is a certificate of completion from Diet and Kidney Academy. And this has a lifetime access. The mains module have lifetime access. Want to know more? Come on. The Diet and Kidney Academy live sessions. Now in Renal Nutrition Basics 2.0, what's different in that? They are patient education series, how to educate and empower our patients. There are 12 cyclical sessions. So if someone who has joined in the course and the Renathon session 4 is going on, then the first, second, and third sessions that the person has missed, he can join in the second cycle. The cycle goes on. It's Saturday evening currently going on. We are discussing about booklet making. We are discussing about topics, how to write in simple language, how to explain to our patients about kidney diet. And yes, we discuss the topics from renal nutrition model, medical renal nutrition therapy, and diet planning strategies also in these live sessions. So it is a kind of a revision kind of a sessions, 1-to-1, and plus we have patient education discussion. Proud to say that we have already finished 1400 live minutes of Renathon 1.0. There is revision and reinforcement of knowledge. Modules included in Renal Nutrition Basics 2.0 Companion, all about kidneys, that is kidney anatomy and physiology, journey of the food we eat, in point shooter style, and the PDF guides. Again, there are 3 sections in these, 21 chapters in these 3 sections together, videos, audio, and PDF file in English and in Hindi. And it's a free bonus content. We are not charging anything for this. And we keep on modifying. We keep on adding the PDF guides. Some of my students or say some of the community members in the previous version 1.0, they requested for our book in the PDF format. And we have added those books also. Some have requested for English, some requested for Hindi, some requested for Marathi. So that's the part that you get in Diet and Kidney Academy's Renal Nutrition Basics. We try to help in every aspect. Many of my students, they email us about their cases. They send us their blood reports and we discuss those cases either 1-to-1 or in the group live discussions so that the rest of the community gets to understand about that particular case and how to go about in the diet. Imagine instead of competition, when there is collaboration, it gives better results, right? So instead of something like we call cutthroat competition, if there is collaboration where we join in hands together, imagine the patients' lives that we are impacting with this collaborative effort through Diet and Kidney Academy. Noble, right? You know, want to need more? We have an app, Diet and Kidney Academy app for Android users. And of course, the iOS can access it through their phones, through the browser. Need more? The course fees already have declared is 51,001. But, yeah, just a revision. 60 chapters in renal nutrition model, audio, video, and PDF. Guide to blood values in CKD, 1 video. Medical renal nutrition therapy, 8 videos. Diet planning strategy, 6 videos. Organ donation awareness, 1 video and 1 article. This is the mains. And mains के बाद मिलता है certificate of completion. Then we have the live cyclical sessions weekly 1400 live minutes have already been completed. We have started cycle 2, Renathon 2.0. And the companion, that is Kidney Anatomy and Physiology, 2 videos taught by our nephrologist and 1 PDF. Journey of the Food We Eat, 8 videos and PDF guides 10. And we keep on adding the PDF guides. Because physiology तो change नहीं होता है, anatomy change नहीं होता है, journey of the food we eat change नहीं होता है, लेकिन additional PDF guides आते रहते हैं. We keep on adding. So 110 whooping lectures, audio, video and PDF with lifetime access. You can access it anywhere through your mobile apps, even while you're counseling your patients. You need not go and check into big books or go and refer to your notes. It's there right at your fingertips or in your palms. Again, what do you gain from this course? Courses, coaching, consultation, community, challenge, lifetime access, and I would say cooperation and collaboration with kidney nutrition masterminds. Discussion is the way to go. Collaboration is the way to go. Cooperation is the way to go. We are not competing with each other. We are competing for quality in patients' lives. Join a system of learning, because systems work, people fail. And don't be cheap on your journey to greatness. That's my mentor, Siddharth Rajsekhar, who says this. Save time, energy and money. Save the hunt for knowledge. Here it is at Diet and Kidney Academy, a complete solution to the quest for Indian renal nutrition. Focus is your most important asset, because decisions change your destiny. This is what my mentor says. Need to know more? We have more. We have testimonial from our students of Renathon 1.0, wherein they say, how is the app? It's nice. Actually, it is very systematic. It's an amazing platform to learn. Something new, I really like it. Okay, another. How is the experience about our app? How is your learning journey going on? And she says, I'm doing good, listening to chapters. They are really interesting. Any point are like, we must think in this way while planning the diet. So it's the thought process that we are changing. It's the modification of that diets that we are doing. It's not that we are completely changing it to some XYZ newer recipes. Okay, also that is also a challenge. And we have our expert nutritionists and dietitians who is a registered dietitian practicing solely renal nutrition in Bombay, who is in collaboration with us. And she comes up with lovely innovative recipes for kidney patients. And she is on our panel. She comes in for 2 or 3 of live sessions with innovative recipes. So even that's there. So Indian sources of protein, carbs and mineral content. How do we plan that? That's what this testimonial says. App is also good, handy, so I can listen to it. No need of laptop, thank you. You don't need to carry heavy stuff. That easy, that accessible is the knowledge portal. If you would like to know more, she is the expert I was talking about. Just a second.
Hello, my name is Dr. Rachna Jasani and I am a registered nutritionist. I have been practicing in the field of renal nutrition since the last 15 years. So what made me enter into this field? While I was a student, we were made to attend a lot of counseling lectures, and one of our mentors focused on the importance of counseling for renal patients. The most important instance that we were shared was maybe your renal nutrition counseling is not only important from the viewpoint of calculating your calories, proteins, carbs and fats. It is much more important because you may help in delaying the progression of the renal disease. And the most important thing that struck me was, let's say for example, if you are able to share a diet plan with the renal patient and that patient is able to delay the progression of dialysis, let's say by 6 months or maybe 1 year or 2 years. That can be highly important time period for that patient. The patient can actually invest his time into something that is much more meaningful and maybe productive for his life. Similarly, diet counseling and diet planning for dialysis patients is extremely important, as you can actually save a patient from getting into a cardiac arrest if he has hyperkalemia. So when these instances were shared with me, it struck me, and I could definitely, I realized at that point of time that this was very serious, and I could feel the connect with the renal patients more, and that's the reason why I chose to enter into this field. Now, at this point of time, if same feelings seem to be resonating with you, then Diet and Kidney Academy is the right solution for you. In Diet and Kidney Academy, you will be trained online not only into basics of renal nutrition but also into basics of renal anatomy as well as physiology. At times what may happen is a lot of differences of opinion can crop up in between medical professionals and dietitians when it comes to nutrition, and when it comes to renal nutrition there may be all the more differences. Hence, in Diet and Kidney Academy, you will be getting supervision, you will be getting lectures, you will be getting guidance from an esteemed nephrologist. This will not only make you more confident, but you will understand your concepts in much more detail. You will be understanding the demands of the patient, be it a chronic kidney disease patient, a dialysis patient, a kidney transplant patient, or even just a patient who has a renal stone. The modules have been formed in such a manner that they are extremely simple to understand. The languages here are English as well as Hindi. Hindi has been chosen so that this course can reach to the most remotest village and the most remotest student can understand and can imbibe from these courses. So if you are willing to enter into the field of renal nutrition, Diet and Kidney Academy is go-to solution for you. Here you just need to download an app. You do not need to go anywhere. You can get the entire module right on your phone or on your system. Once you log in, the chapters have been listed one below the other, with each and every chapter being compiled as an English version as well as a Hindi version. So if you are looking forward to enter into this field, I welcome you, and you are sure to gain bountiful knowledge. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rachna. So join a system of learning. That's what I would say, because decisions change your destiny. Focus is your most important asset. Yes, this is the course fees on the website that my team has put up. Need to know more? Because decisions change your destiny. And today's decision is going to change for a lifetime for you and your patients. So they said we are going to have an action taker offer of 7499. Then we discussed that we have a YouTube channel, Dr. Suniti Khandekar's YouTube channel, and Kidney Ki Baat by Dr. Ashwini Kumar Khandekar, wherein you get knowledge for patient education. We have podcasts, Indian Diets in Kidney Diseases, and Kidney Ka Swasth Hindustani Swad ke saath. Recently, we have changed it to Diet and Kidney Academy podcast. It was previously on Anchor. Now it is on Spotify, where we have listeners from all over the world listening about Indian renal nutrition. And only for today, Think Indian, and we have this action takers offer for Indian Renal Nutrition Basics 2.0. We are giving it to you at an offer of 4999. Team? Yes. My team has just entered the link for action takers. Kindly note down the link. Now my team will also put in the code. We have a special code for you today. The code says RAM. If you take it spiritually, it is RAM. If you take it technologically, it is random access memory. But for Diet and Kidney Academy, Indian Renal Nutrition Basics 2.0 action takers, I would say it is a rapid accomplishment model. It's a rapid accomplishment model, RAM. Remember this coupon code RAM. Note down the link. This offer is for action takers. It's a short-term offer wherein the team has made coupon codes only for today. So by midnight, it will expire. It will go away. Rapid accomplishment model. RAM is the coupon code for today. Note down. And I'm here for questions. For some time. Yes. The coupon code is there in the chats. The link is also there in the chats. I can see viewers listening to me on YouTube and live here at the Zoom. Those who are listening to me on YouTube, if you register on our website, dietandkidney.com, if you are a nutritionist or a dietitian or a doctor who is practicing nutrition and dietetics for your patients, we have a knowledge portal, dietandkidney.com. Register for today's webinar. You have a special gift which will come in your emails. That is different to what the code says here, okay? Any questions, attendees? We can take a few questions before we can call it a day. I can see people taking actions. Any questions about renal nutrition from your side? Think, because decisions change your destiny. And if you're worried about whether this coupon will work or whether you can buy and then what will happen, don't worry. We are going to have new member orientation program. It will be a special program where we will take you through the step-by-step journey of how to use the dashboard, how to use the browser, how to access the videos. And then you will get automated live sessions, email reminders. You will be taken into a community of kidney nutrition masterminds. It's a group for our communications about the upcoming live sessions and case discussions. So you need not worry. And if you are able to counsel even one patient of chronic kidney disease, if you are able to counsel and make a change in even one patient and his whole family, I think it is worth it. Even if there are any technical issues with the purchase link, write to us at contact@dietandkidney.com. We are there to help because we are here to help. Learn, help, and achieve is the motto of Diet and Kidney Academy. I hope everything is clear about the 6 concepts of Indian renal nutrition, the why we need to study Indian renal nutrition. Most important. Any queries other than the technical aspects of buying, you can ask before we call it a day. Team, the code is working. Yes, I can see some action there. So, action takers, I would love to welcome you in my Kidney Nutrition Masterminds community. Those who are listening to me on YouTube, kindly register. Use the link, use the coupon code RAM, RAM, Rapid Accomplishment Model for Renal Nutrition Basics 2.0 only for today. If you have any issues, write to us. We are there to help guide. Okay. So with that, I think we come to the end. If you want to take some more time to think, that is fine. You have till tonight. Namaskar.